11 a.m. only on the KSJE 90.9 FM.
"17 minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Monday morning, the 17th day of August, 2026. Good morning, everybody. I'm Scott Micklin. Thanks for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM over the air right here in San Juan County, New Mexico. In Durango, Colorado, we broadcast at 103.3 FM. And if you're listening to my voice anywhere else on the planet, you've gone to our website to tune in. That's ksje.com. Or maybe you're listening through the KSJE radio app, or perhaps you've asked your smart speaker to play KSJE. We're glad that you are with us this morning. Also, welcome to our viewers who are watching right now. The video of this program is streaming out live to the KSJE Facebook page and also to our YouTube channel. We have a busy Monday for you coming up in the next few moments. My guest, first of all, a welcome back to school episode with our friends from the Central Consolidated School District. We'll find out about their summer and what's been going on at CCSD and what they're planning for with the new school year. That coming up in the next few moments right here on KSJE. Then later on this morning, we'll do what we do on Mondays and talk technology. It's our Monday Reboot segment coming up today at 8:50 on KSJE this morning. Next hour, of course, we will let Mick Hess come in and take over the studio, his classical music program, Roving with the Arts. You'll hear that a little less than an hour from now at 9:06 on KSJE this morning. A reminder, you can connect with us on other forms of social media like Instagram or Blue Sky, X, and now Nextdoor, so we'll see you at some of those places as well. And if you're a podcast listener, we publish podcasts almost every day. You can find them wherever you listen to podcasts, so subscribe and maybe discover new local program in your feed that you may have missed recently. Also, podcasts and much, much more listening live are available in the KSJE Radio app, available right now on the App Store and on Google Play. Outside our studios here at San Juan College, it is 69 degrees at the moment. We're expecting, I'd say, more of a sunny day than the forecast shows on the map right there, and less chances for rain too, maybe 20%. But sunny skies, 89 for a high today. Clear skies tonight, the low 67. It'll be partly sunny tomorrow with a high of 91 on Tuesday. Warmer and sunny on Wednesday with a high of 93, 94 on Thursday, 93 on Friday, 91 with partly sunny skies on Saturday, and maybe a chance of showers again in the forecast Friday night. Back with my guest from Central Consolidated Schools right after this on KSJE. In a medical emergency, stroke, heart attack, trauma, every minute matters. The decisions made in those first moments can change everything. San Juan Regional Medical Center offers advanced, comprehensive, definitive care. Available 24 hours a day for everyone in our community. When minutes matter, San Juan Regional Medical Center is here. Find out more at sanjuanregional.com. KSJE is supported by 100% San Juan County, working to make San Juan County a place where 100% of families can thrive. The mission to strengthen capacity to ensure each child, student, and family has access to vital services for surviving and thriving. Every month, 100% San Juan County shares projects, news, and recipes with the News and Choose newsletter presented by the W.F. Kellogg Foundation. Find out more at 100nm.org.
Now back to Studio A and the award-winning Scott Micklin Morning Program on KSJE.
I'm back at Studio A this morning with my guest, as I mentioned, from the Central Consolidated School District. Superintendent Steve Carlson is back with us this morning. Mr. Carlson, welcome back to KSJE. Good to see you.
Great to be here, Scott. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. You brought with you some of your esteemed colleagues from the district.
I did. I have our public relations fellow here, Jared Noble.
Jared, good morning.
He's always here to tell me what to say, so I appreciate him.
I don't know how much he does of that, but maybe nudge you a little bit. Friendly nudge once in a while.
A little bit of
Okay,
that.
fair enough.
And I also brought along a principal from the district. He was the principal of Career Prep High School, and Career Prep High School is actually no more. So he's going to talk a little bit about the transition between what was Career Prep and is now Eagle Peak Career Academy.
Very good. Welcome to you. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in this morning. Very good. Well, Mr. Carlson, we'll start, though, with you about back to school and how things are going, because that's probably front and center a little bit, at least for your days these days, huh?
It is, yeah. We had students that finally came back August 6th, and our teaching staff returned August 3rd. We had a big welcome back celebration. We had quite a few teachers. I think we had 12 teachers who had 25 or more years service, so we recognized them. We had teachers with 25, 30, and 45 years of service.
Wow.
Coming back.
That's dedication.
That is amazing. Yeah, absolutely.
Congratulations.
And I just
Thank
want to
you.
recognize that person who's reached 45 years. She's an educational aide over at Nijoni Elementary, and it's Bernadine Thomas. So
Congratulations
really
to her.
thank her
Yeah.
for her service here in the district.
Very good. Almost, I would say fixture, but I don't know if people like that term or not, but I'll say it. You don't have to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people say I'm a fixture around here, and yeah.
I
so.
believe so.
Yep, there you go. Very good. Congratulations. We're seeing some photos, too, from the first couple of days of school, it sounds like, around the district, right?
Yeah, just a good day for CCSD, and just a lot of students excited to be back in school. And so these are photos from the Shiprock Elementary schools, and we had our photographer also go out to Nosh Chitty. So the one that's playing with the puppet, she's
That's coming. Okay.
that's coming
It's
up.
coming.
Yeah,
Yep, we have it.
she's over there at Nosh Chitty teaching Navajo, and that's how she talks to her students for the first day and getting to know them. So
Nice.
So we went out to Nosh Chitty, and you always got to make sure to reach out to those kids, those few kids out there in the rural area. So we're
Definitely.
really excited for them to be back in school.
Yeah, very much so. So we're seeing a lot of great photos here of the first day from maybe some of your younger students, right? But it was first day for everybody. And of course, the one we want to show with the puppet is right there. There it is.
There she
That's
is.
the one we're waiting for. So perfect. Very good. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for sharing that. And so some other things that are going on, Mr. Carlson, I know you wanted to discuss too this morning. So do you want to touch on those issues right now or a little bit later?
I can talk about it right now.
Okay.
It's not a bad segue. You just mentioned Chitty Elementary.
Right.
So there's a couple things that I don't mean to be negative about it, but sometimes you hear rumors.
Sure.
And we want to make sure that one of the things Jared does is he puts statements out to help dispel those rumors. And I just want to publicly say a couple things about those. The first one is about Nosh Chitty Elementary. Nosh Chitty Elementary has, for some reason, been the subject of gossip that maybe the school is going to be closing. Maybe the school board wants to close them down. That's not true. There was conversation maybe 15 years ago about what schools should we keep open, where the students are, what the enrollment is. That was a long time ago, and there's been nothing any time recently about the closure of any of our schools. Our school board is going to meet this Friday and Saturday, and they're going to have some conversations about where we need to go as a district. But that's not going to include anything to do with closing Nosh Chitty Elementary School. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Okay. I'm glad that you said that. And it's good to hear directly from you.
Thank you, sir.
So appreciate that.
And the other one is about we did close down. Technically, it's a school, Von Wilson Technical Center. And so there's been a lot of talk about, are they getting rid of CTE programs, career and technical education programs? And again, that rumor is not true. We're not doing away with CTE programs. We're expanding CTE programs, which is one of the reasons why we have Mr. Paniagua here, so he can talk about the expanded CTE opportunities at Eagle Peak Career Academy. But we also have every single one of the programs we had at Von Wilson, we will have at Kirtland Central High School.
Got it.
And hopefully the majority of them will have at Shiprock, and we're working to put them down into Newcomb as well. So the whole point is our students need career and technical education, especially nowadays.
Right.
Because not everybody's going to go to a 4-year college.
Sure. Well, and I remember, I think you and I talked about that on a previous episode of this program, right? About kind of the changes to that and how you were going to try to spread them out throughout the district for easier access for your students. Isn't that kind of the idea? At least that's what I recall from that conversation.
That was a conversation.
Okay. All right. And that's still obviously going forward.
That's moving forward.
Okay. And with that, I think that's a nice segue to our guest, who is here, as you mentioned, the principal of the new Eagle Peak Career Academy. Brian Paniagua is here. And again, welcome. Thank you for coming in and talk a little bit about the school, the change in name, and maybe a little change in focus a little bit, right?
Absolutely. So we opened up the new school this year, Eagle Peak Career Academy. And I'd like to talk about the name itself.
Yeah.
So a lot of the changes that are happening are student-driven changes. A lot of the programs we brought in are from student input. And following that vein, we decided we're going to give students voice in naming the new school. So one of our teachers, Ms. Vesta Mizell, decided to put together a survey last year of names. We gathered some names from some of our students. Well, we opened it up to the whole student body.
Right.
We narrowed a couple of those names down, and students voted on it. It was pretty close between another name and Eagle Peak Career Academy, but that one won out. And it's kind of nice because there's a lot of tradition behind the Eagle and what we came up with.
Right.
And so Mr. Noble came in over the summer. We had a couple kids. He wanted to have sort of a focus group, sort of hammer out the color scheme, the mascot, the mission, and all that. So we had a group of students come in over the summer and worked with Mr. Noble. And the really cool thing is that our mascots that we created are student mascots. They're the ones that the students drew and then digitized. And so it was really close between two of them. Emily Caboni and Matea Tsatsani came up with them, and so we decided to go with two different versions, one for the official business, that was Emily's, and then one for clubs, and we're looking at expanding into our first ever sports team. We want to start an esports team, and so that's going to be the Matea one.
Right. Okay. Nice.
But the school itself, a little bit different from Career Prep. Career Prep was an alternative credit recovery school, and the state judges our success based on our graduation rates, and our graduation rates weren't up to par. And so last year the state came down and said, we're going to have to do a little something different. And so they gave us a couple choices, and we chose to redesign the school. And based on conversations I had with Superintendent Carlson last year, with some of the students as well, just in passing, it turned out that a lot of our students really wanted more career focused. They wanted to see that bridge between high school and what's going to happen after high school. A lot of them weren't too sure what they were going to do. They kind of knew what they wanted to do, but how to get there was still sort of a mystery to them. And I think that might be other places.
Sure.
But I remember a conversation Mr. Carlson and I had last year. He was with me in the building right when I started, and he said, career prep. Do we do a lot of career prep here? And I said, no, we do a lot of credit recovery here. And so that got me thinking a little bit about it. And then as I was having conversations with students over the year, and the state came down and said, you need to make a change, everything just kind of fell together. And so going with a career and technical education school seemed to be the thing we wanted to do. So we got our core team together last year, and it was quite a process. We moved pretty quickly, for what we were doing, but it seemed like kind of a long slog, long row to hoe there for a bit. And then with the distribution of the programs from Bond Wilson, that was kind of a boon to us because we picked up two pathways. One of them was one of the pathways that students said they wanted. It was health science,
right.
So the nursing pathway. And then we picked up a business pathway as well. So now on campus we have our health pathway classroom, which is a mock-up of hospital rooms, and we have a print shop where our library used to be. This is for a business class, so students can take these business classes. They can work in the print shop, and the big one that students really wanted is welding. And so right now we're working on converting what is now a storage room that used to be a welding shop back when the school first opened, back into the welding shop.
Okay.
And then I have a weight room that used to be a construction shop. So finding a way to move the weight equipment to a different part of the building and opening that up. And so one of our employees, our CTE coordinator, Mr. Brian Dowdy, is looking for different funding sources so we can get that welding program up and running. And
Right.
so there's a lot of work that's going on. But so far, we've only been open for 6 days now,
Right.
or 7 days,
Right.
something like that. But the vibe of the school is a lot different than it was last year.
I bet.
Students it's kind of neat. I saw one of the days the students had to wear their scrubs. They were in the health science, and so you see these students dressed up like they're going to work in a hospital or a medical setting. So it's pretty neat.
Nice.
We also changed the way that we get students. It used to be that students came to career prep if they were behind in credits, if the big school wasn't a good fit for them, anxiety, those sorts of things, and career prep was a smaller school. So since we changed and we're going to this career and technical, and the idea is to get our students ready for that transition right after high school, we decided to implement an application process and an interview process. So we kind of designed it with the end in mind. If you go for a job, you apply for a job, you interview for the job.
Right.
And that's been really kind of a really good thing for us to do as a staff and for the students. We learn a lot about the students before they come in, and we can offer wraparound services if they need it. Students who might have had anxiety in the past, who might have other troubles that were barriers to them coming to school. In the interview, that comes out, and we can design a program, or we can put people in place to help them out. And I know it's only been a few days, but we've had some really good kids coming through and getting in through that process. A lot of them are really nervous, of course, but they all risen to the occasion, and it's kind of neat to see the students wanting to get into our school,
Right.
hearing about our school. And it hasn't gotten out there too much. I think I need to do a better job of branding and rebranding.
Sure. Well, you're on the radio this morning, so
I
maybe
guess
that'll
so,
help.
yeah.
Let's hope that'll help, right?
Yeah,
a little bit,
I
maybe.
appreciate
a few
that.
people might hear us, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Excellent. Very good. And how many students do you have at the school this year so far?
So far we have 55 students.
That's a lot. Okay. Significant,
Yeah,
right?
it's not as many as I want. I'd like to have quite a few more students than that. But we're taking students through the end of this week. We're taking applications, I should say.
Right.
And then what I want to do, usually we would open up registration at the semester, but what I want to do this year is open up at the quarter. So we're a quarter system school rather than a semester system
Okay.
school. So we award credit every quarter, and because of that, we can kind of open it up because new classes start every quarter. Yeah.
So you'll have 2 quarters between now and December. Is that the
Yes.
idea, or 4 quarters through the year?
4 quarters
right?
through the year, but
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
But we will, here in a couple weeks on August 29th, we're going to have a grand reopening, a ribbon cutting, and a blessing. And we have a teacher, Dr. Joseph Chi, who has been with Career Prep since before the building we're in now was built. And he's a medicine man, and he's bringing in a medicine man to do the blessing. And we're inviting all kinds of people to come on out. And I've gotten a positive response for people that are willing to give up a few hours on a Saturday to come help us launch this new school and
Nice.
and help us with our success.
Very good.
Yeah, anyone's welcome.
Right.
Please join us. We'd love to have you be part of the celebration to open up our new high school for these students.
Very good. And it's the same location as Career Prep was. Basically, folks are wondering where
Yes,
it's
on
located.
that
Same place, right?
On the same highway near Shiprock High School. Just go a little further west, and you'll run into Eagle Peak Career Academy.
Okay, very good. Well, congratulations, and
Thank you.
thanks for coming in to share all this news about your school and the students who helped get it set up, I guess, right?
Thank you.
It's
Appreciate
all
it.
sounds like very student-centered. And for students then that need that credit recovery, Mr. Carlson, there's still options for that within the district, I guess?
Yeah, that's something that each school can do. A lot of credit recovery these days is done virtually. So sometimes there'll be a virtual option with a teacher in the classroom. So we can do that at each of the high schools. So that's something we still have covered.
Got
Any
it.
student who needs that.
Okay, very good. Thank you for filling that in as well.
You bet.
Another topic we wanted to cover this morning, I think, are some apprenticeship programs and the MC3 program. I think Jared maybe can fill in the blanks a little bit about that and explain what that acronym means.
Yes.
MC3?
Well, MC3 is, I don't think it's really an acronym, but it's part
Okay.
of the partnership with the local Union 412 in Santa Fe.
Thank you. Okay.
And MC3 is basically an apprenticeship program for graduates. So we had graduates from this previous school year who
Right.
enrolled into this program who were very interested in skills trades like pipe fitting, welding, those sorts of things, to where so local Unit 412 brought a Winnebago, a bus over to train our students. So we kind of got to sit and witness what was going on in that Winnebago, and I think these students, they might have not learned math, but they did in a unique way. That
Sure.
This instructor, he knew how to teach these kids, and he said that he knew a system where he knows how to teach math.
Excellent.
And these kids got a great experience with that, and then obviously these students go through this apprenticeship program for the summer. I believe it was 4 weeks, and then they're going to do 4 weeks out of the county, out further south. Santa Rosa, I think, is where they are right now, where they're still
doing some work,
doing
some
some
actual
work.
work.
Yes,
Okay.
where they're completing their internship there, and then hopefully they'll build the resume there and be able to launch their careers because of that. So
Very good. And you sent some photos. These are photos of these kids
these are
that we're
these.
seeing,
This
right?
is the part of their training that they did in
the district.
our district.
Uh-huh.
And so with the graduating cohort, there was 8 students that came out of that program. And so now moving forward, signing an MOU with local union and MC3, that we're able to bring this program back years down the road. So
Nice.
every year you're going to see new cohorts of students go into this program and being able to jumpstart their careers.
Excellent. And again, that's kind of what these types of careers need, are these apprenticeships, right? In order to give the students a little bit of a foot in the doorway a little bit, right? And if they go to a potential employer and say, I've got some actual experience, that says a lot, does it not?
They got OSHA certification. These instructors are able to be their references for the future, and just bring in new opportunities, especially to our rural area students. We had one student in Newcomb who came to the program every day, and now she's able to have that certification go out into work.
Very good. And there's a picture of, it looks like
Yes.
all your students,
There's all
right?
those 8
and
students that
in front of that
graduated.
mobile training unit. So
Yep.
excellent. Congratulations. And that's great. What a great resource for your students, and a great thing to be able to tap into.
Yes, thank you.
For them that are looking for that. Another topic that I wanted to ask you all about, of course, like any local school district, you had students involved with the recently completed San Juan County Fair.
Yes.
And there's some photos from that event as well that we want to share with a little bit of our audiences this morning. And so congrats to all the students from every district that competed in the fair, but yours too, right?
Yeah, it's not welcome back school unless you have FFA being in the county fair. This is kind of something we always look forward to when school comes back around the corner, and these students really work hard, and we had the opportunity to be on the field with them when they're showing their livestock at these shows, and it is a lot of work, and they love it, and really neat experience to see these students showcase their animals and what they go through, and you don't know how to position animals, and
Sometimes animals don't cooperate either. I know
somehow
that.
these students make it work, and it's an awesome skill to see, and obviously they learn a lot about the agriculture too from their advisors. So a lot of great takeaways, a lot of grand champions, reserve champions that came out of the fair this year. So we'll be this week on Thursday at our regular school board meeting. We're going to have an update, and you're going to be overwhelmed with the results that they're going to bring. So you can't really just go down the list and name who's done what.
The show's not that long. We can't. We don't have enough time for all that.
True.
But,
so definitely.
but you will take the time at the school board meeting.
Yes, tune in for that, and
Got it.
congrats to those students. And I can't. I also want to shout out the Curlin FFA, because there's 2 things that came out of that program just recently. The Curlin FFA upgraded from a 2-star chapter award group to now a 3-star chapter. So, and they're the only one in Clovis, are the only 2 schools in New Mexico who have earned this distinction.
Congratulations, yeah.
Yeah, they got high honors for that. And Zane recently became a national, Zane Webster, thank you, sir, that he is nominated and selected as a national FFA ambassador. So he only joins a few other ambassadors across the nation to help advocate for other chapters in New Mexico. He also joins Vicki Lake. She's also a national selected ambassador. So we're very lucky to have those two FFA ambassadors in our school district
Right.
and teaching our students agriculture in our schools.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations, and you mentioned the work that these students go in to getting their animals ready for the fair and showing them at the fair. But it's a long process, I know, right? Because a lot of these kids have raised these animals from little animals to
Yes.
what they are now, the big animals. And of course, big thanks, I think, to the buyers who paid money for the animals at the show and at the fair. So
Yeah, they're getting a jump start too in their college career. So wherever they take that money, it's for them. and
Right.
they're
Some
able to
students use it for college. Some use it for their next animal, maybe, or
Maybe
whatever.
so,
right.
yeah.
So
Yep.
it's a lot of things. But nice to see the support of the students at the Salmon County Fair for all the school districts, as we mentioned. But again, CCSD, it's great to see your students show up so well and do so well at the fair. Congrats.
Thank you.
Very good. And you'll be talking about that at the school board, you said, this
Yes,
week.
Thursday at 5:30 in Kirtland.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, we are just about out of time this morning, but Mr. Carlson, I'll come back to you. You started things off today, and we'll end with you a little bit about some things to look forward to for the future now that the school year is underway.
Yeah, there you go. We want to mention something that Jared's trying to remind me. We have an
Oh.
attendance grant from the state.
Okay.
And it's a 3-year grant for $600,000. So we've hired an attendance coordinator, it's Tia Johnson, and she has also added to her staff. We have 3 regional attendance liaisons. So we have one in Shiprock, one in Kirtland, and one down in Newcomb.
Okay.
So we look to expand our attendance program. We have had some issues with chronic absences over the years, as everybody has. And I don't know if you know that in the state of New Mexico, if you miss more than 10% of the days, you're considered chronically absent.
Right.
There's 180 school days, basically, so if you miss 18 days, you're chronically absent. And so we had some issues with that. So we're doing our best to get people out to spread the word and make sure kids come to school, because
Sure.
Hopefully you'll see the next time we come in, we can share some test scores and let you know about some progress we made. But those scores and the progress don't happen unless we get kids in seats. So
Right.
we need to make sure we have improved attendance. So we're working on that, and the test scores will rise along with that.
And by
Gotcha.
the way, Tia,
Yes.
since she came into the district, she's reduced, all of our schools have reduced chronic absenteeism by 5%.
Nice. Which is what you hope.
That's
right?
what- yeah,
and
exactly.
So, and keep those kids in class. And I know, I'm sure they can be used too and be helpful to find out if there's other issues, if there's a transportation issue or a health issue or whatever going on in those families too, to figure that out, why they're not coming to
She's
school
got
too,
great
right?
partnerships with the transportation department in our schools to kind of understand the logistics of everything. So yes, absolutely, and the services, the software we have to be able to find that out and how we can improve that. It's really good. She's been doing great things, and we're lucky to have her.
Excellent. Very good. Well, congratulations. Thank you for reminding us about that grant and the work that your coordinator is doing throughout the district. So appreciate it. Very good. Any
Thanks,
other
Scott.
thoughts, Mr. Carlson, before we say goodbye?
We just look forward to the school year.
Okay.
I'm glad that Brian was able to share what he's able to share today. We really appreciate him. He and his team have done an exceptional job and have put forth a lot of hard work to get this school up and running. And I look forward just to the change in the atmosphere. What he was talking about with students walking around with their medical gowns on and everything. And,
Right.
And to see those welding, let's get those going, Brian, as soon as we
Okay.
can.
We're working on it.
There
We
you
want
go.
to see that up and running. But yeah, I really look forward to the school year. It's going to be a great school year.
Very good. Well, good luck to all of you. Thank you for coming in this morning. Jared Noble, congrats to you, new dad.
No,
We just
thank
have to
you,
shout
sir.
that out.
Yes.
Appreciate you being here with all the other stuff going on at home. But thank you all for coming in this morning and sharing all what's going on at CCSD. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
You're very welcome. My guest this morning from the Central Consolidated School District with me here on KSJE.
This is the Engines of Our Ingenuity from Houston Public Media News.